Hello friend, in today's session we will learn how to create a simple web page. From that web page we can able to turn on and turn off your AC load by using a Raspberry Pi. So in this session we will completely use the Flash framework, and from that Flash framework we will design our web page. We will first design the login web page so that you can enable to enter the correct ID and correct password. And once you enter the correct ID and correct password, then another web page will be open, and from that web page you can able to control the home appliances. So login web page basically used to provide some security to your application, so that any other person cannot able to access your home appliances from that web page. So first we will see what will be the final output of this session, and then we will see hardware connection, and after that programming. Now you can see here, this is my Raspberry Pi, this is my relay board, and this is my AC load. So I have connected AC load with Raspberry Pi through relay board. So we have to control this AC load by using our web page. So we have to first open our web page in mobile. Then we have to type the URL for that web page. So once you enter the URL, you will see the login page will open. Then you have to pass the ID and password. So once you pass the correct ID and correct password, you click on login. Then home automation page will open. Then by using this web page we have to turn on and turn off our LED. So once you press turn on button, the light will turn on. Once you press the light off button, light will turn off. So you so you can see successfully we have created web page by using Python, and this web server is running on Raspberry Pi itself. So we will see how to create this web page and how to control this LED, that is AC load, through our web page. First connect relay ground pin to the Raspberry Pi ground pin. Raspberry Pi ground pin is present at 6 number. So connect ground pin of relay to your Raspberry Pi 6 number pin. After that, connect VCC pin of relay to your Raspberry Pi VCC pin. One number is Raspberry Pi VCC pin. So connect VCC pin of relay to your Raspberry Pi 1 number pin. After that, connect any one of relay pin, that is IN1. Let's consider IN1 to a Raspberry Pi GPIO pin. In this project, we consider 7 number pin as GPIO. So connect this pin to the 7 number. Now next point is to connect your bulb with your relay board. Bulb folder has 2 pins. If you see here, bulb folder has 2 pins, one positive and negative. Then this positive and negative gets connected to your 2 pin connector pin. So if you see here, each relay has 3 pins, one open load, then middle one, and second one is connected, open load and close load. So if you want to control your bulb or any AC load with your Raspberry Pi, you need open load and middle load pin. So your bulb has 2 pins, one positive and one negative. You can cut any one of this pin so that you will get 2 pins. After that, one point of that cut pin should be connected as inside close load, and second point of that cut pin should be connected at middle side of relay. So completely, so after relay gets turned on, these 2 pins get connected and your bulb will turn on. So first we will see how to create the login web page, then we will see the Python code, and then we will see how to create the web page that is used to control your home appliances. So first we will create simple login web page, that is this web page, by using the HTML. So if you want to create a HTML page, you can create in text file or in notepad file also. Just save that page with .html. So first we will see what will be the folder structure of our project. So folder, your project start, your folder or project start with your project name. Then inside that folder there should be the static template 2 folder, and then your .py file. In static folder there should be the style sheet, and in template there should be the all HTML template that we will use in our project. And
After that, there is a next file is your project actual Python file. So first we will create a login web page. So you can see this will be the simple web page, and then we have to transfer this web page into this style sheet format. So first important part is the basic of this web page. So we will open the code. So you can see the simple HTML code to create any web page. So HTML code start with HTML and /HTML. So this is basically start and end of your HTML code. After that, there is a body tag. In body tag, you have to write your own code. Then H1 login. So this is if you open the page, then you can see there is a login message. So if you want to give some information about this web page, you can provide under the H1 tag. So H1 having the different size. If you give your H2, H3, H4, H5, then size of this login text get reduced. So more the size, lesser the number of H1. Then form action, we will see later what will be the use of this line. Then next line is input type text. So you can see here our input, we have to take the two input from the user, that username and password. So for that in web page we have to give input, two times of input. Then first input is text, because you can see here first is username, that is in textual form. So that first input is text. That then name is equal to username. This is a variable which is used to collect the information that you type on the login page. Then this information transfer to the Python code. Later we will see what is the use of this username. Then placeholder username. In a login page, you can see there is a username and there is password. So we have given the idea about the user, what information you require to enter the login. So you can see here username and there is password. So that username comes from here, this username. So if you change here the message like enter name and save this, again go to the login page and reload it. So you can see here the enter name will appear. So it is basic information to user, what information you need to run the web page. Then next line is require is equal to require. So basically this is property of this input, that this input should be, there should be some input so that the web page will work. So you can see in web page, if you does not enter any value, it message gives please fill this field. So if you want to see this message, if you want to give this message to user, you can write here require is equal to require. Then next line is input type password. So it is password type because you have to hide the password when user type that password. So that this is a type of password. Then name is equal to user password. This is a variable. It is used for the Python code. Then placeholder password. This placeholder comes from here, this password. So you can change this one also. So next one is required, that is this password should be required. Then input type, then button. The next line is button type of submit. So you can see in login page there is a login button. So you have to create, if you want to create this login button, you have to use the button tag. So button tag with type submit, it is submit type of button. Then it is class, and then what type, the name of that button you can give here. So login is name of button. If you change the name just like XYZ and press enter, and if you again reload the page, you can see the name changes. So this is a basic design of any login web page of HTML. Then if you want to convert this simple basic HTML page into this stylish HTML page, you require some property, that is nothing but the style sheet of HTML. Then let's see how to add this style sheet into your code. So I have already created this web page. So you can see there is a style symbol, style start and style end. So with this in between style start and style end, I have provided some property of our login page, that is what should be the background, what is the color of background, what is the width of this login username password, what is how this style of button gets changes, then all these properties added in between the style. I will provide all the code on my Google Drive, so you can easily download this login HTML page from this Google Drive and you can easily access this style sheet. So don't worry. So after end of style sheet, you can see the same code is there, body start and body end. In between body start, body end, there is a class login. This is class login. It is nothing but the it is a class of that style sheet. You can see login. You can see in between style sheet there is a login. So this is a class. We have accessed that class, so that this line is enter division class login. H1 we have already see the login because you can see here it is present in login. Then form action we will see later. Then input and all button. All these lines are same that we already saw. So this is a basic type of HTML, and this is in this way we have created this HTML page. Now next line is, once you enter the ID and password, how this password and ID transfer to your Python code. So this ID and password transfer to your Python code by using the Flask framework. Okay, next part is we have to design this web page. You can see here there is home automation page. You can see two buttons, light on and light off. So we have to design this web page. So let's open the code. So it is basically the same web page that we designed with login, like login web page. So first one is body background. First tag is body, then background. Then you have to pass the home.jpg. That is you can see on this web page there is a background image. So if you want to add this type of image, you require the address of that image. The image should be stored inside the static folder style sheet. So this is a path of image. So if you want to pass the path, if you want to pass that path of image into your HTML code, you recall URL for method. So URL for first is static. So this static is nothing but the folder name. So you can see here this static, this is a folder name. So this folder name should be exactly identical with this name static. Then path of your .jpg file. Then inside static there is style sheet and then your file name. So you can see here the static, the style sheet and your file name. So in this way you can pass the image to your HTML page. Then next is division class, that is login class. Then home automation, this is the name. You can see on this web page home automation. So you can give your name also. The next line is form action. You can see here there is a two form. We already see the importance of form. So once in form, first form there is a one button with a class button class, and then the name of that button is logon, light on. So if you see this web page, light on, this is first button. And same we have to design again another form, and there is a name for that button is light off. So you can see light off. So once you press the light on button or light off button, automatically Python code get execute and light will turn on and turn off. So this is a basic idea behind how to create this type of web page in HTML. Now let's see how to create a Python code in Raspberry Pi. There are two ways you can create a Python code in Raspberry Pi. First way, you just right click and create new, then empty file, and give your file name, let's say temp, and with extension .py. So with this you can create your Python code. The next way is go to the Raspberry Pi, then programming and Python 2. If you don't see the Python 2 here, then you can create by using the first method. So we will open this Python code. So let's see how to create a simple Python Flask program so that you can access the login.html page that we already created. So let's see the importance of each and every line. So first line is from Flask import Flask redirect URL for request and request render template. So basically all these packages which is required to initiate the to open your HTML page. So first you need to install the Flask package in your Raspberry Pi. So if you want to install the Flask package in your Raspberry Pi, go to the terminal and before that make sure that the internet is connected on your in your Raspberry Pi. Then type this command sudo pipe install flask on terminal and press enter. So once you press enter, the Flask package gets automatically installed on your Raspberry Pi. So once this install, it will give message that the Flask is installed. After that you can easily use that package. So next line is app is equal to Flask in bracket name. So basically this line is basically used to create the Flask object so that you can access the Flask functions in your code. So next line is URL address is equal to some address. So when you connect your internet through your Wi-Fi, through your router on your Raspberry Pi, there is some IP address. So if you want to find that IP address, go to the terminal and just type ifconfig. So once you enter the ifconfig, there you can see there is some internal address, that is local address of your Raspberry Pi 127.0.1. So if you use this IP address in your code, you can only access your web page on Raspberry Pi browser itself. So in our case, we have to access that web page on your mobile also, on your laptop also, so that you require the common address between your mobile and between your Raspberry Pi. That common address is taken from your internet. So that common, you can see in next line there is a common address, WLAN address. So you can copy this address and paste into this in this code. So this will be the IP address of your Python code, that is Flask code. Then next line is @app.root/. So when you run your Raspberry Pi, this Flask program, your URL address will be start with this 192 something .8080. So 8080 is port address, and basically there is a slash. So if you don't give any name, then this page will be open. So if you want to give some extra information here, then you can provide here after slash, you can give here login. So once you give the login, then your web page start with 192 your IP address, then port address, then login. So this will be the URL of your web page. So this app.root basically used to create the URL of your web page. You can use another also, you can use an infinite number of times. So this will be the starting point of your web page. So next line is it's require the function. So def login function. So I have already explained in my previous video how to create the function in Python. If you haven't watched that video, please watch it. The link is provided in description. So basically function require def, then function name. You can give any name. This is user defined name, then start bracket, end bracket, then double colon, then return render template. So basically render template is a function which requires the HTML page and the URL address. So if you see the code of this HTML page, login.html. So in our template we have already created that login.html. We will open that. So you can see here the HTML address. So I told you we will see later what is use of this HTML address. So basically if you want to transfer some information from Python to your HTML page, you can use this type of syntax in your code. This syntax, URL address, that is any username. It is basically variable name. Then you have to pass in information, and you have to use this only the exact name of your variable in your HTML code. So this is HTTP, and then it is an address, that is starting point of your login. So let's say in case you change your you have changed your Wi-Fi connection to any another mobile, and then the IP address automatically gets changed. So there should be some case in your code, so that you one time you only pass the IP address, then this IP address get automatically divert to your all your HTML page, all your Python code. So that that is the basically use of this variable. And then we have to pass this address to our HTML code by using this HTML address. So once render.template get execute, this HTML page will open with this IP address, and yes, this will return this HTML page. Then next line is if / name / is equal to main. So basically your Flask start with this app.run. It is a object of your Flask. .run is a method which required the address of your Flask code, then port address, and debug is equal to true. So this will use to debug the code basically. So this is the basic code of any Flask program that required to execute any HTML page. Okay, so now let's see our final code. So let's see the importance of each and every line from this code. So first line is from Flask import Flask and different packages. So basically this packages used to create the Flask program. So next line is import Raspberry Pi.gpio and GPIO. So if you want to access the GPIO port from Raspberry Pi, you need a GPIO library. Then next line is URL address is equal to some string. So basically this string is nothing but the IP address of your Raspberry Pi. So copy this address and paste here. So this will take so this string gets stored into URL address variable. The next line is app is equal to Flask. Basically this is used to create the Flask variable. So next line is GPIO.setMode GPIO board. So Raspberry Pi can work as a two method, as a Raspberry Pi board or Raspberry Pi BCM chip. So if you want to use as a Raspberry Pi complete board, you can use this line. So next line is GPIO.set warning to the false. So whenever you run the Raspberry Pi code, Raspberry Pi gives you warning that whatever the GPIO pin you have used is already used before. So to avoid that warning, you can use this line. So next line is relay is equal to 7. In hardware connection, I have already told you we have connected a relay board on pin number 7. That's why we declare here relay is equal to 7. So why we declare the why we take the relay 7 number pin only? You can see the reason behind that. Go to the terminal and just type here GPIO .read all. So basically this command gives you the image of your Raspberry Pi. So you can see in physical, just focus on the physical column, the 7 number pin, and in name column the 7 number pin work as a GPIO pin. So that we have used the 7 number. You can use the use the 11 number, 13 number and 15 number also, because all these pin use as a GPIO pins. That is depend upon you. So next line is GPIO.setup relay GPIO.out. So basically you have to set that pin as an input or output, because GPIO is nothing but a general purpose input or output. So if you want to set the specific functionality of that GPIO pin as output or as an input, you can use this GPIO.setup relay GPIO.out. In our project, that pin work as output, so that we have declared here out. So next line is flash equal to 0. This is variable. We will see the importance of this variable later. Then GPIO.output relay pin GPIO.high. So basically we relay work as a active low logic. My relay work on active low logic. So when I send the high signal on that pin, the relay gets turned off. So to turn off that relay, we will use this line. So in your case, if relay works on active high logic, you can use here GPIO.low to turn off the relay. Next line is let's see, when you run this program, your Python, your web page start with URL address, then port address. So this will be the entry point of your code. Then next line is slash. So once you enter this code, okay, when our Python code gets executed, then the first line that will execute is app.run URL address port 8080. So once you enter the URL address with port 8080, automatically the function get this function get executed. Def login return render template login.html. So then login.html page gets open, and we have to pass the IP address to that login.html page. So let's say we will open that page. So you can see once I enter this, then this login.html page gets open. So this after that you can see we have to enter username and user password and press login button. So once you press the username and user password, this login.servlet function gets execute. So why this execute? Let's say the code of login.html page. So in login.html page there are form action. So in form action we have to pass IP address, then port address, then login.servlet. So once you press the submit button, this login.servlet get execute. So if you search login.servlet in our Python code, you can find that function. So in Python code you can see login.servlet present. So once you press that button, this function get execute, and in this function there is one so in this function you can see there is a global variable flag, then request.form username and request.form user password. This username and user password should be identical with your HTML code. So you can see in HTML code, so we open this login.html code. So you can see in this HTML code you can see their name and name. So this username and user password, both variables should be identical with this username and user password. Then and then only you can able to collect the data from the HTML page to your Python code. So we will collect this username and user password into Python variable u underscore name and u underscore password. So we have to compare this u underscore name and password with our static name and static password. So static name is Rahul and the static password is 9922. You can change this password with respect to your name. So we compare the collect username and user password is equal to our static name and static password. So if that password is correct, then flag variable set to 1, and if that password is not correct, then flag variable set to 0. So once the flag variable is equal to 1, that means your username and user password is correct. We have to jump to bulbcontrol.html page. So to jump that into that page, we require render.template function. So in that function we have to pass bulb.html code and IP address of that of our Raspberry Pi. So let's open the bulb.control.html page. So you can see in bulb.html page there are two form 1 and form 2. In form 1 we are waiting for light on, and form 2 we are waiting for light off action. So once you let's say we open that page first. So once you press the light on button once you press the light on button from HTML page, you can see light on function get execute, and once you press the light off button from that function, light off function get execute. This light on and light off servlet should be present in our Python code. So in light on, let's say this one light on, once you press the light on, this light on get execute, and here we are checking the if flag is equal to 1. That's mean we already check here the successfully we have logged into our page or not. If we do not log into page, and if someone other user enter this IP address and try to enter this try to execute light on light off, it will automatically redirect into your login page. So to implement that functionality, we are check here if flag is equal to 1. If yes, then we have to turn on the relay. To turn on the relay, this function is used, gpio.output relay gpio.low. So this will turn on relay, and if relay is turned on, we again execute the bulb control HTML page. So to execute that page, so in render template package we have to pass this HTML page and then IP address like the same already we discussed. And if that flag is equal to 0, so that's mean this is not correct user. So we have to jump to the login.html page. So to jump the login.html page, we use render.template, then login.html page, and we have to pass IP address. So this is a functionality to turn on the relay. So let's say if you press the light off button. So if you press the light off button, there is a light off function get execute from HTML page, and you can see in a code there is a light off functionality. So once this route get execute, then we are again checking the correct user or not. If the user is correct, we have to turn off the relay. So to turn off the relay, we have to pass the high signal on Raspberry Pi. To pass the high signal on Raspberry Pi, we require this GPIO.output relay pin GPIO.high. Then we have to again move to the bulb control.html page. So to move the move control to bulb control.html page, you require render.template package. Let's say if the flag is not equal to 1, so we have to again go to the login.html page. So to control go to the login.html page, we have to return render.template login.html page, and we have to pass the IP address of our Raspberry Pi. So this is a complete workflow of our code. You can see we have completely designed the project by using the Flask protocol, Flask framework only. So if you have any doubt regarding this code, regarding this hardware connection, you can contact me on my mail ID, on my WhatsApp number. I have added my WhatsApp number and mail ID in description. So once you type all your code, and if you want to run this code, you can run this code by using two methods. If first search this, go to the Raspberry Pi, then programming and Python 2, and once you open the IDE, go to the run and run module. If you do not find the IDE, Python IDE in your Raspberry Pi, there is another way to run this code. Go to your terminal and type here Python and provide the path of your file. So once you provide Python, then space, and then provide the path of your file, and once you press the enter, then you can see the running on with this address. So you can find this address. We are already given this address in our code. So this is your starting point, and after that all the sequence of your Flask gets started. So in this way you can run your code.